So, the disclosure rule, this integrated disclosure rule, it's doing two things. First of all, it's changing the initial disclosures. There are two that a lender has to hand out. They hand out the good faith estimate and the truth in lending disclosure. And then they're also changing the HUD-1 settlement statement. That kind of shocks some of you? Yeah, wait till you see it. It's pretty different. So before, or where we are right now, for more than 30 years, the federal laws, there's been two federal laws that each had their own form. Again, one was the truth in lending and one was the good faith estimate. But those two forms didn't coincide. They didn't complement each other. They were disclosing different things in different ways. And for the borrower, it's extremely confusing. They've tried to make it better, but all they've done is compound it. So we have now the truth in lending statement. That's part of one of the laws. And we have RESPA, which was done in 1974. And what's going to happen now is we're going to go into just one law. The Bureau is the CFPB, and they have drafted this regulation, and it's now going to be coming under ECOA. So it's not even the two that are out there now. It's going to come under ECOA. So they're changing things a lot. This goes into effect on August 1st this year. It was supposed to go into effect in January of this year, but everybody figured they weren't quite ready to go, and so about this time, a little more than a year ago, they decided that maybe they better push it back. And so it's now August 1st of this coming year. So it's about 5 months away, a little less than 5 months now. And I don't think they're going to back away from that date. There's so much going on, so many things in place that there's going to be a lot of changes happening. So let's talk about some changes here. The first thing I want to talk about, this is fairly significant, is the definition of an application. So the top one is the current way the application is defined, and the bottom one is the second way it's defined. Okay, now we won't play 24 questions here, but there's a slight difference in the two rules, in the two regulations. And the difference is right at the tail end of it. It's that highlighted area right there. So the way it currently reads is the loan officer or the lender can define the application with those different things included and any other information deemed necessary by the loan originator. All right? The new rule is the same as word for word, except that tag is off. Why would the CFPB do that? Why did they take that tag off? Pretty critical. This is the time to raise your hands.
People probably claim discrimination.
Okay? That's part of it. Please.
Because afterwards they add some other documents that kind of modify the loan or change the
You're
terms.
along the right lines. Why would they add other documents? Have any lenders in here? Okay, let me help you out. Once they complete an application, they have a loan application, now they're required to disclose. That's the way it reads now. And so once they get these information plus other information, then they can disclose. Well, they can add all kinds of things to it so that that disclosure gets put off and put off. Well, now the new ruling doesn't give them that latitude. It's these items right here, and then they have to disclose. So if you send somebody in for your pre-qualification, you know, and if I need to, I'll get on a soapbox and preach that you need to send all your people into pre-qualification interviews, and you'll see it's going to be more critical now. But once they go through the pre-qualification, they basically have all this information with the exception of one part. That one part is right here, the property address. Where do they get the property address from, Mike?
Repsy.
The REPSI. And where does the REPSI come from?
From the rest.
Comes from you guys. So basically what we can see is what the CFPB wants to happen is once you find the property, right now, they want that to be a completed application because right now, they want those disclosures going out. That's a big difference in where we've been before. Everybody catch that? Understand that? So what's going to happen now is then these two forms need to go out. The good faith estimate and the truth in lending. And so the loan estimate replaces the good faith estimate, and it also replaces the truth in lending. So those two forms are gone. That truth in lending statement has been around since 1978. You know, nearly 40 years, and it's gone. Truth in lending has some revisions to it. It's been around for a long time too, but they had some revisions to it too. Anybody read a truth in lending, the good faith estimate, lately? Make any sense out of it? It's pretty hard for a loan officer to figure that out, let alone one of the borrowers. So these two forms are now history as of the 1st of August. They're going away.